He says he was oblivious to the behavior, and as such, I give him the benefit of the doubt that his corrective actions are in good faith. In my conversation with him, I summarized that I'm not offended by his players, but it's my duty as an alliance leader to look out for my player base. And more importantly, if someone sets a standard, as we discussed last week, I believe in holding them to that standard. I did also mention to him that I don't think that he needs to go on a witch hunt in the sense that he should not be trying to go back and retroactively remove anyone and everyone who has done anything wrong. And I'm not, and nor is anyone else at Genesis, trying to use drama to tear down an alliance. Uh, all that to say that Doomsy did demand Chancellor's removal from Dune, and Dune, being the toxic cesspool of self fellating and bloviating scum, refused. They stuck to their guns for a player who previously had betrayed hundreds of his closest allies in his previous game of Second Galaxy, and now revels in mocking people with disabilities and inciting hatred. So as of this week, Dune has departed OP4S, and as of this broadcast, we are told that they are now in direct cooperation with Dead Space, or Dead Corp and Alliance. No surprise there. Going forward, as I told Doomsy, he need not focus on trying to remove any and everyone who's done anything wrong. What is important is that the community has seen he is taking action, Dune being the example. And it is more important that he hold that standard going forward, just as we elect to hold the same standard here at Genesis. Further, just as Dune and Dead will be judged by the company to which they choose to subscribe, I did tell Doomsy that I am not here to be judge or jury of his alliance. It is not my alliance, but we must all remember we are judged by our players and the greater community, the Eve Echoes community at large. That should be our guiding star. In conclusion, we simply hope for good fights with OP4Ls and anyone else in the future. Now, I know what you're saying. Kerensky, you told us there would be a war update, and I can hear the gurs and the boos and all that coming through right now. Where's my war update? Well, I will give you that war update, but first, a word from our sponsors.
60 AU off the Warp Gate path, there's a Kerensky that works more with ore than weaponry. His name is Simple Kerensky, but he's no dummy. He realized long ago the greatest thing he would ever create was his venture. We captured that moment. We run it on a loop through Simple Kerensky's mind, and the chemical it makes his brain secrete we use in our Simple Kerensky mind control chips to keep people mining ore. Come home to the flavor of your own completion. Come home to Simple Kerensky and the Genesis Ore Buyback Program.
All right, everyone. Indeed, the ore buyback program is being set up. I'm happy to say that after painstaking hours of budget planning and prepping funding, the Genesis Federation will be starting the ore buyback program. You can send all of your ats and angry messages to BAM over in GetCorp. He'll be leading that up along with a good amount of staff that are going to be helping him, myself included, doing some administrative stuff behind the scenes. Good work to everyone who has got it setting up. I know the miners are way behind in wanting to be able to sell all of their rock goo for some profit. And we've got some industry guys who want to buy the minerals, but we are funding that program and we are about to be releasing the details here, hopefully this morning, if not this afternoon. So we'll be kicking that into swing. We apologize for the delay on that. In any case, friends, a war update I do have for you, a war update you shall have. This week, I'm happy to say that we saw host to two separate operations by OP4S. This past weekend, OP4S did a call to action, or a call to arms, a CTA, if you will, with the intention of coming to Genesis space and camping our station and killing anyone who dared to undock. Unfortunately for them, this first op barely mustered 20 players, and Genesis quickly roused some 70 plus pilots. The result was, as you might expect, OP4S was seen standing down, and Genesis went ahead and went on a roam to their system, the system that they were staging in. We did a short camp of their staging system, and ultimately that's the area of space that we call as our own. And they've simply been squatting. So this was officially get out of my swamp type thing. Uh, Now, admittedly, the operation was short notice for both sides, and the 20 pilots is certainly not indicative of OP4S's fleet ability. They're a very large alliance. They have a lot of corporations. They can definitely field more players than that. So next up after that short fuse op that kind of failed, within 48 hours, OP4S pushed another CTA. This ping was sent out to all pilots, and in a similar fashion, it was a call to arms to come camp our station. So it was basically the first op, same idea, but let's try it again in a better prime time, a little bit more notice. They were going to mass a large fleet, come to our staging system, camp us in, and kill anyone that challenged them. All right, so I mean, honorable challenge, no issues there. As one might assume, Genesis responded in kind with a CTA, and the result was OP4S mustering, at least by our count, a maximum of 75 pilots in destroyers and cruisers, and Genesis approximately 130 pilots in destroyers. That was my count based on my overview. I didn't bother to go around and count individual fleets. You get the idea, around 70 or so versus 130. Naturally, we were the defenders, so we sought the tactical advantage and established our formation inside our home system on the warp gate. And OP4S took a little bit of time to arrive, and when they did, well, they had no intention of engaging us. Both too large for them to jump into and too organized and prepared. OP4S sat in an hour plus standoff or so. It might have even gone on 2 hours. I didn't really have my stopwatch going. So their operation, which was a call to come essentially embarrass us in our own space and show us our place, turned to a stalled out nature walk in which they killed a few of our people who were not in fleet and jumped to their side of the gate ignorantly. And we killed some of their pilots who jumped to us on accident. So yeah, again, there was no real battle. It was pretty lackluster. I can say that the losses that we had from watching the gate, it was nobody who was fleeted with us. I think it was pilots that were undocking. They just logged in or whatever. Because when you have an alliance of 1,300 plus people, not everybody's on the same page at all times, right? It is a mobile game. Not everybody's on Discord at all times. So we're all fleeted up. We got all of our guys on the gate, and then every once in a while you see some little lemming go by. He jumps through and he's gone. Yeah, that's basically what it sounds like. Or maybe it's because in space there's no actual sound. But either way, the OP4S casualties, they had a couple guys derp as well. We laughed and had some good hearty kills on a few of them as they jumped through, but they never jumped the actual fleet in. They didn't commit. Now, one might think that the enemy would simply say, "Good fight" or "Good job, you outmatched us." But you would think wrong. Instead, as is typical in war, propaganda broke out. Ragnar, a now banished from our server diplomat and OP4S leadership team member, sent out this message. Let me pull it up if I can. Find this message for you. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so he sent out this message, and it's essentially a bunch of spin and damage control. I'm not going to read the entire thing to you, but it essentially says that, oh, we showed up to show them what was going on, and they had more people, and they were too scared to jump into us, even though they had more people. And then we ended up losing a bunch of pilots over time and had 40 pilots, and then we went home. Um, Okay. And then he tells he's talking to Mike Porter. That's the at in that screenshot there. He's talking to Mike, and Mike Porter, reporter from Second Galaxy, who I've had some interesting conversations with. I've both applauded him for some of his work, and I've also trolled him endlessly in the past as well for some really poor reporting. I think Mike's reporting has come a long way. I'm interested to see what he does here in Echoes. But I digress. So he's telling Mike here that this was a victory, and he's saying it in their open chat. Uh, Now I just have to say that. I don't think that that was really the problem that you had there. You didn't lose 40 pilots. We had a cloaked scout watching you. We had scouts at range watching you on the other side of the gate. Look, you guys had 70 plus. We had 130. You're not going to jump into us. I don't blame you for not jumping into us. I might have if I was the FC and I had a specific fleet composition. Based on what I saw, you guys didn't have the fleet composition you needed to come in. I get it. That's part of the tactical game that is the Eve universe, right? But don't sit here and do the spin and say that you won because we didn't jump to you. Because let's be clear, we were in destroyers, and you guys were set up on a position on your side of the gate. You also had a handful of cruisers. Now, it wasn't a lot of cruisers, but you definitely had cruisers that were set up for sniping because we've engaged them before. And I know exactly what would happen if I jumped my fleet of destroyers in, or Arya, as he was the senior FC. If Arya had jumped the destroyers in, your destroyers would have starburst away from the gate or warped off, and your stabber fleet issue and your stabbers that you had at range would have just sniped destroyers off the field. What point would we have to jump into you when we are on the defense? It doesn't even make sense. So no, you didn't win. You're trying if you're having to tell people that you won despite the fact that you left without engaging, you didn't win. You were the offense. You were the aggressor, right? You were on the offense. That means you have to come to us. We stopped you from coming to us. That's a win for us. And it wasn't that you had 40 players. Okay, that's a lie. And I appreciate that you're attempting to find excuses. You didn't have 40 players. We were on your comms the whole time because spies, just like you have spies of us, and you stood down your fleet, and so your fleet was leaving, and then we had guys go chase you, and then you had around 40 players engage some of our guys, and people were running around with like chickens with their heads cut off. It happens, all right. Let me show you what your real problem was. Here's your real problem. This is your fleet that you set up, in which before the op, this was about an hour before the op, 2 hours before the op, you had 45 people say that they were coming to your op, and 70 had declined, and some 68 were tentative. You ended up with 75, and I want to think, if my memory serves, just before the op accepted, we were watching your Discord, and it said 55. So your problem wasn't that you lost a bunch of people at the gate or going home. Your problem was you didn't have people to begin with. That was your problem. And your second problem was you went on the offense without enough people and then bitched about the defense not giving you things to shoot at. Not my job to come to you when I'm the defender. Hey, figure it out, man. We do have some other nice little pictures here. This is a beautiful little screenshot we took of the fleet. This is the stalled out defense that we had. And then we've got this other picture here. This was a beautiful picture of us after they mustered only 20 the 2 nights before the initial CTA they did. This is us then going on our way to go camp them in their staging system. So it was fun. We didn't really kill too much, but it's a good little time. Uh, yeah, I do have to say though that is definitely it's definitely losing, but with extra steps. You could have stayed home and still lost, and well, actually, you would have lost fewer ships. But hey, it is what it is, right? All right. So coming up next, we are going to go ahead and talk about a little spotlight of the week. But first, another word from our sponsors.
There's a Kerensky that held a fleet hostage after murdering his scouts and several fleet members. The fleet was made of noobs, flavored with stupidity and lemmings. He made us all take a look at our fleet composition, and in the bargain, he got a taste of real freedom. No more fleet ops. We captured that taste, and we keep giving it to him so he can give it right back to you in every single Kerensky Fleet Ops mind control chip selects. Come home to the unique flavor of shattering the bonds of teaming up with noobs. Come home to Genesis Fleet Ops.
All right, indeed, there is a ship replacement program going on here in Genesis Federation. Make sure that you are reading the announcements. The Alliance budget is there. If you're flying an Alliance Doctrine ship during an official Alliance operation, the ship is compensated. You will be compensated, get another a ship. In addition to that, if it is a defense op and you are flying our defense approved doctrine, which again is all on our Discord, any defense op is also covered. And if a senior fleet commander takes over that operation, they can dictate other ships and they can tell you to ship into other stuff and it'll still be covered. Now, I do have here in the chat Britonek. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Britonic. It looks like he's from Red and he's from OP4S. Yeah, I did neglect to put that in. I apologize for forgetting. He brought up about Red jumping in. So Red, as I said on the show last week, I believe, Red, the Russian and Russian ethnic speaking individuals in Red Corp over with OP4S, they've been bringing us some pretty good fights. They show up in their cruisers. They're pretty well fitted. They know what they're doing, and they give us a little bit of a run. Now they're not usually in large numbers, but yeah, as Lazy Koala Bear just said, we love skirmishing with Red. And during that standoff, Red, I think it was Red. I don't want to assume it was, but I think that's who was in the cruisers, the sniping cruisers. They did jump into us near the end before the fleet stood down, and they jumped around to some sniping pings. I don't really. I was actually logging out of the fleet right at that point. I had to go take care of some stuff, so I missed a little bit of it. But I do know that some jumped in, and there was a little bit of shooting back and forth. So we definitely applaud them for being part of that, right? So good stuff. All right, let's talk about our spotlight here. So the spotlight for the week is not a corporation, although we do have our interview with BNS to get to. No, today I just want to take a moment, a special thank you to the unsung heroes in the industry department. Full disclosure, I do not know how industry is doing in other alliances, but in Genesis, our industrial pilots are busting their ass and they are struggling to make it rich while simultaneously working overtime to provide those low cost ships to their fellow alliance members. Your work is definitely not unnoticed, and I encourage every single pilot in Genesis Federation to buy local, buy from your alliance. Use the trade channel, give business to these unsung heroes that are behind the scenes, constantly working to build those ships for you to explode into shiny balls of fire. So, thank you, guys and gals, for everything that you do. All right, which is going to bring us up here to our next segment that we all do enjoy so much. That's going to be our Everything is Stupid segment. Let me pull this week's up. We're going to make it a short one this week. All right, so again, time of the week where we talk about the potatoes and the Muppets, and it is this week's Everything is Stupid. So keeping it short, based on everything else that's been going on, and we don't really want to look too much at idiots drooling on keyboards, but we would be remiss without pointing out that our adversaries over at Dead Corp and Alliance are, as usual, toxic pieces of shit who just can't help but make asses of themselves. So let's take a look here. Mamasaurus breast. Wow. You know, I typically write out the script, right? It's basically like the show line of what I want to talk about. And I didn't even know what to write for this because it's just so stupid that people. Okay, first off, I don't understand why people act like this. I just don't. Okay, maybe it's because I'm not a teenager that I don't understand or think that it is funny to say Mamasaurus breast. But let me also point out that for a group of people who say that we are bad at everything we do and we're trash, by the way, Dead still doesn't even have an alliance up. So get good, kids. Um, if we're so bad, how fucked in the head are you to let us live rent free in your fragile little mind? Like, we didn't even think to do something like this, to mock your names or anything. We just don't think about it until you pop up on the Discord or in game looking like idiots. How are you letting someone else live rent free in your head? What is going on over there? Like, I just it's not even my ex-girlfriends anymore. Now it's Mamasaurus Rex has ex-girlfriends, and my God, like it just the stupid never ends, right? Now, yeah, Captain Jack. So as a bonus here, I did want to say I found it funny that we talked last week about how there were some individuals who were crying about us using Plex to build the alliance and trying to find a way to get that ban and the alliance removed, right? Well, Captain Jack, the junior moderator who we exposed for some very vicious comments and also his horrible attempt at spying, he's now gone out of his way to start blocking people on the Eve Echoes Facebook. So he's personally blocking accounts in the hopes that we won't be able to screenshot the things he says and forward it to the mod team who is currently investigating him. So I did find that interesting. Jack, I'm sure you're watching. Hi, buddy. We have 1,300 people in the alliance. I don't think you're going to be able to block them all. So instead of blocking people, maybe just don't threaten people on Facebook and you wouldn't have to worry about getting reported. I know it's a novel concept, but, there you go, Jack. All right, we're going to go ahead and conclude this week's Everything is Stupid. And coming up next, we have a special interview with a little segment with the Chief Executive Officer, the CEO of BNS, Brand New Space Corporation. So stay tuned, and we'll be back after this intermission.
This is Rogue to any available ships. The Cyno jammer is down. Regroup at the outpost until reinforcements arrive.
Copy, Rogue. Golf in position.
Repairs at only 30%. What's the ETA on those reinforcements?
We're going as fast as we can. Just a few more jumps.
Copy that, Talon. Get here as quick as possible.
Stealth recon. I'm cloaking at 40.
Golf, that's your primary.
Copy. Engaging.
Heads up. He's a little Cyno. New contacts. Hostile capital ships inbound. All ships, focus fire on that supercarrier.
Target down.
They let us a second, Cyno.
Enemy support bridging in.
Route number 2 to 1. Austin, fall back to the gate and link up with Talon. My shields can't keep up. I need some help. Get shield transfers on safe. Golf, primary those dictors.
Unable. I'm jammed.
Talon, where the hell are you? We are getting murdered. Armor's gone. This is it. Yes, well done. Focus fire on the second carrier.
Cyprus, this is Hammer. The fleet is through. Call a target.
Enemy support fleet at 80.
Hammer, your primary is that support fleet. We'll assign fighters to cover you. Roger?
Dreadnought in position.
Very good. Start your siege cycle.
Copy. Engaging.
Cyprus, support fleet is disengaging. Request permission to pursue.
Negative. Maintain your attack.
You don't need our help for this.
Don't do it. We have no eyes out there.
Too late. Already in work.
Talon, they're following us to the gate. Are you in position?
Roger that, Austin. We're holding in the next system. Talon fleet. Jump through now.
Understood. Jumping in. That's a lot of hostiles in local. Yeah, glad you could make it.
What are targets by range?
Check scanners. Here they come.
Take down that command ship first.
Roger, engaging. Austin, align to the outpost at speed. Talon will call your primaries.
Primary those ECM boats next and target secondaries by range.
Copy.
Prometheus, do you copy?
Standing by.
Cyno deployed. You're clear to jump.
Roger that. Jumping.
Now let's kick these bastards out of our system.
Командир, только что появился большой флот.
Вас заметили.
Нет.
Хорошо. Флот Дракон. Можете заходить.
Прыгаем. Есть главная цель?
Ждите всех. Теперь эта система наша.
Да, командир.
All right, welcome back to the show, everyone. We are here with Zloisvin, CEO of BNS, Brand New Space Corporation, the sole Russian group currently in Genesis Federation. Z, can you hear me? We appear to be having a little bit of technical difficulties. Just 1 second, everyone. Please hold on. Привет, comrades! Меня зовут Kenos Kerensky. Это Зойзвен. Comrade Зойзвен, как дела?
Greetings, товарищ Kerensky. Everything is great.
Yes, everything is great, comrade. Welcome to stream in glorious Russia.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for welcoming me. Yeah.
It's a warm welcome. We're glad to have you on the stream here, taking over the Kerensky show from. I don't think you're actually in the USSR, but that appears to be where we're at now.
Sorry, it always happens. I don't know how to fix
It's a default thing that just happens. Okay, all right.
it.
So you are the CEO of BNS, Brand New Space Corporation. You are our only Russian corporation. Why don't you tell us about yourself and your group?
Oh, okay. Yes, yes. I am leader of BNS. Oh, what to tell? Okay, BNS was founded at first beta actually, and then we were called not BNS but BNT, Bonitas Corporation. Yeah, and we had an awful logo. Thanks God, we changed our name and logo. Yeah,
Did you say
awful.
Bonitas?
Bonitas.
What
Yeah.
what does that mean?
I don't remember actually. I seriously, I want to combine some two Latin words, like, and it had some
Yeah,
ends.
I thought it was Spanish, and I don't speak Spanish just as I don't speak Russian. So
Yeah, but and it had an not so good logo. Like we created on the first days of our life of corporation. I asked several guys who can make it, and there was like 10 guys in whole corporation, and like one, I can make it, but I have. I
just
say,
like that, the
oh,
logo looked just like with the butterfly, or what was that?
we just curved hands.
Oh man. Okay. You were trying to make the hammer and the sickle with your hands. I got it. Okay, got it. I think I see Mamasaurus is there in the chat. I think she's having a heart attack right now. Yeah, she figured out why it was scheduled for 6 a.m. her time because otherwise we would never have gotten away with this.
Oh yeah, poor mom.
Poor Mama.
Oh
So okay, so
yeah.
you guys started in the beta, and now here you are with Genesis. You said you had 10 members. How did you grow your corporation? How have you gotten to where you're at now?
Um, actually, firstly, I didn't know that we have if Echo's channel, Discord server. I mean, yeah, and that they have a corporation recruitment channel.
Mm.
So I just was posting in if chat like, "Hey guys, Russian corporation here, join the Discord." Yeah, and
Okay.
no, several people join, but if I do something right now, they will say, "Oh, is Discord? I don't know how to use it."
Right.
Seriously, that's kind of strange. Yeah, and actually, I was kind of lucky because I found several people that are still in my corporation until now, and one of them is my deputy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, are you originally from Eve Online then?
No, no, I played it online, but not so long. Like I have
Okay.
150 hours, I think. Yeah, I just was playing with my friends. He just said me, "Hey, here's one big game. Wanna play?" I say, "Yeah, why not?" And so we waste the whole summer.
I love this thing keeps changing my name around because it can't make up its mind who I am. There we go.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So okay, so you played Eve a little bit, and but not too much. So then, how did you end up finding Eve Echoes?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Like, we had on our Russian YouTube, we had a blogger. He called himself Bulljet. Yeah, and he got his videos called "Stories from MMOs," and like it's very popular. And of course, many stories are from Even Land because it's a game of stories. And so many people, like really many people who joined playing Kif Echos, they were inspired by him. So like, oh wow, I can make such great things, I can influence the whole game world. Yeah, and so many people end up here, and personally me too, I just have like a little dream.
Yeah, that's kind of how I found Eve Online a long time ago, back in 2014, 2015. I just kind of stumbled across it, and I think I just saw a video somewhere, and I saw all the big ships that you could build, and I was like, that's absolutely what I want to do. I want to go rule the galaxy. And then I find out that the galaxy is very large and not easy to rule. That's not some one person can do.
Yes, 8,000 star systems. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us about your corp. What is like the main thing that BNS does? What do you guys do?
Right now we are earning money. So doing being
Making money. Okay.
PvE stuff,
Okay.
and many of my people are doing it at Empire Zone, Empire Territory, doing encounters because like it's kind of easy to do in a group, and you instantly get 20 million or more. So
Right.
like easy money. Yeah, why not? And several of my guys are settled in Tenerife. It's a near sector of Fitabolis, and
Mhm.
because we got a restriction to enter Fitabolis, we found the next sector with Minmatarlut there. Yeah. So yes, we are now doing PV stuff, but not so long ago, and I think this might inspire Mama, or I don't know. It was your idea about buyback program or not?
Well, so the buyback program wasn't my idea. It's something a lot of Eve Online alliances do, and
Uh-huh.
it's mostly BAM running it. I just kind of jumped on helping build the budget, so that way there was money to start it off. Otherwise, don't look at me. I don't know how to build ships or mine or anything, so not my forte.
So yeah, I was talking with Mama that we need resources to build our ships. We got one awesome idea how to build ships for our players and make them a discount like 20 million for T6 cruisers. So we just buy resources and just make ships. We
Right.
don't take more. Yeah. So like uh, no one have losses, no one have profit. Yeah, like, except who bought the ship. Yeah.
Hmm.
So and we are now establishing this system, and like I'm very proud of my guys because they are all doing all this Excel stuff. And is when I only today said turn on my computer, enter the link, this link that they shared to me, and saw this big table with all data, this counting some themselves, and wow, you did so great job, guys. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's amazing. I coming from Eve Online, and we jokingly call Eve Online spreadsheets in space, and
yes, yes.
we now have mobile game spreadsheets in space, and something we didn't used to have for Eve Online. Of course, now everyone is playing on a mobile game. Discord is on mobile. There's even Mumble on mobile, and now we have Google Drive to put our mobile spreadsheets on. So we are now still mobile spreadsheets in space.
Yeah. And so we are now trying to make an industry stuff too, but not mining, just manufacturing. Yeah.
Mhm,
And I think the uh, buyback program could be very useful for us
mhm.
because we always will be glad to buy ore because we need it for our guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say, so congratulations early. I know there's some talk right now. Mama Soros is talking about help putting you to work a little bit, assisting in the buyback program. And one of the key elements to that is having people who can help manage the contracts. And as an alliance that works 24 hours a day, even there's certain times that are obviously always going to be prime time, but we have to be available at all times of the day or close to it. Congratulations. I think you're going to be working on our Russian time zone doing some of the contracts there, whether you know it or not. Mama can give the thumbs up in the stream chat if she's paying attention, but I think you've been voluntold for that job because you had some
Um,
interest.
she already invited me.
Oh,
She was
perfect.
like,
Perfect. Yeah, she's saying that maybe, but you're busy. You work hard for Alliance, and yeah, you guys, you do work hard. You're definitely one of the most active CEOs we have. I know that I like to bounce ideas off you, and you bounce ideas off me. It really helps the team there. Um, I do have a question for you. So, talking about what you guys are doing right now, focus on getting things built, people making some money. That's probably what 90% of the game is doing right now. What's the middle and long term plan for BNS? What are you guys going to try to do over the long term?
um, like I had some thoughts to establish a PvP squad or even more because when I saw PvP and I saw all this area doing the stuff, I say, wow, wow, it's cool. I want it because previously I thought that PvP if it's like something of boring. And yes, it is, but I thought it's funny and not
Mhm.
funny, like exciting
Yeah,
because when you're ruling an armada of players who are going straight to destroy everyone, it's like wow. Yeah, I I was two times in big fleets, but sadly it was at night, and so first time it was when we went to some system outside of BZ, like it was fleet of around 100 people. Yeah, we went to V2, VC2 firstly, if I'm not mistaken, and then to 111. Yeah,
right.
yeah. I was thinking that there was a going to be a very big fleet against us, but like when we was in V2, no one came, and I say, "Oh, I'm retired. I'm gonna go to sleep." So guys, I know you will make it without me. So yeah, goodbye. And
Right.
second time, we were defending system busy from of force that you were talking previously. Yeah, I just fell asleep when we were camping at the VX gate.
Yeah.
Seriously, and then my phone turns off. Simply. But uh, when I woke up, like, oh, I hope my course trainer is okay because I wasted weeks on it, and like it's T5 rockets. Yes, they're small, not expensive, but I am worrying. And
Well,
hopefully everything is okay, and I found my ship staying at the gate. So
Yeah,
yeah.
welcome, my friend. Welcome to the Eve Online universe, where sometimes you are battling for literally hours in tie dye, other times you're wandering around falling asleep because the enemy is hiding and shaking in fear. I think what you're describing, however, you're talking about how these operations didn't line up perfectly with your hours of the day. And I think what that really translates into is BNS just needs to get bigger. You need to have more Russian players, more Russian time zone people, so that way you guys can independently operate. I know, shout out to SGP. One of our Asian corps, Chinese speaking corps, and some of their groups. They're working with some Indonesian corps as well, so they're doing some operations. Just earlier today, we had one of our U.S. corps doing an operation of their own. uh, so I think that's one of the solutions, right? Is corporations either working with other corporations to go do their own operations, or corporations getting large enough and capable to do their own operations. So I'm good, or I'm happy rather to hear that you guys are going to work on a PvP wing. I think that Red Corp should just come over and join the alliance, and then we'll have two Russian corps that can go play together and shoot things. What do you think about that?
Oh yeah, I would be glad to see them because they are cool guys. I have several friends from
Hmm.
them, and I have an experience talking with their leaders. Yeah, Zez and Bertonic, I think, yeah.
Hmm.
They are quite cool and serious guys, and I like him, and not only me. Like, yeah, we respect them,
Hmm.
respect for their PvP skill, yeah,
Yeah, we've
because
had a lot of players on our Discord talk about, hey, Red is coming. They've got a small gang. Let's get a small gang because they want to go fight him. It's a fun time for them. So, Red, I know some of you are watching in the stream chat here. I'm shamelessly plugging that you should leave your alliance and come join us because here in Genesis, we're cooler and we have videos that play the USSR anthem from 50 years ago. So you're welcome for that.
oh yes, yes, and actually, I I will be glad to see every Russian corporation that joined Genesis because it's just Russian corporation, like just Russian people. It not matters in which corporation you are in. So yeah,
Absolutely.
happy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I want to ask you a question. And this is not a scripted question, so I know you weren't prepared to answer this. I'm sure you heard because you have friends in Red, right? And so I'm sure you heard some of the drama about, oh, Genesis is mean or whatever, and Kerensky is mean and was mean to the Russians in Second Galaxy, right? So what made you say, okay, I'm going to join anyway and give it a shot? Like, why did you join Genesis when there was, rumors about the problems that were possibly here?
Firstly, I'll tell you, I didn't heard anything seriously about Genesis until the moment when Fanon, the leader of PPU, said me, "Hey, we are going from your alliance to another, but inviting you with us." Yeah, I never heard about Genesis seriously. Yeah, maybe it's because I don't check the official Eve Echo Discord server because it's flood there and it's hard for me to because there is so many unimportant information. Yeah, but what I discovered recently, and I was shocked a little bit. I've checked our old Alien server and found that upon the screenshot from a 4 server, and there was like 5 or 6 memes photos joking of Genesis, how they lost or something like this. I don't remember, but something was against Genesis because there was their logo, and it was sent like on the 1st of August. Yeah, so not like months ago. Yeah, and so yeah, and I heard anything about you guys, and when I heard or big aliens, and they want to join, that want me to join. Okay, let's try. When I joined you, like when I joined your server, I talked with Mama, talked with some of you guys, heard what we were talking in comms, and like you were cool guys. Thought that you were cool guys actually, yeah.
Well, I appreciate
And,
that.
and actually, I wanted to quit the game before I joined because I kind of not disappointed in the game because of funds. Yeah, because of this paid paid account. Yeah, let's say like
Mm,
the paid Omega, like and that it needs so much time because
right.
the closed beta was during my exams, like my end term exams, and I didn't pay a lot of attention to it, and like even after I passed my last exam, it was 7th of July. The day before my birthday, actually. Yeah, game was continued like to mm, 11th of July, I think, and I just no, I don't want. I don't want. Yeah.
All right, we're back up. Go ahead.
So and I just quit it, and I didn't thought I had a lot of problems in real life. In real life, yeah. Hopefully they are now all now okay. It's
Yeah, absolutely.
everything.
We hope so too. We definitely hope there's no more issues for you.
Uh,
Well, we're definitely glad to have you, and it's good to. So I had assumed that you would have actually known about some of the rumors, right, and some of the stuff that was said about us before you joined, but I guess you didn't. So therefore, you've joined, and you're saying that obviously you haven't seen any of these problems. You don't know what these people were talking about. So that's a fresh set of eyes is good to know. I guess we're doing something okay. We're doing something right in your book. Then that's good.
I appreciate it. Yeah. And yeah, thanks guys for returning me into the game.
Yeah, absolutely. We're glad to have you, especially someone who's fairly new to Eve, having only done it a little bit, and you're a corporation leader. Your corporation is doing well. We want to see you grow some more. I know, based on experience, it can be kind of hard for certain groups, and I think the ethno-Russian speakers are one of those groups. It's hard to grow those corporations because a lot of them have existing gaming communities. So they're already in a group and it's hard to pull people and make new groups. So, hopefully we're going to be able to pick some more people up. Hopefully you're going to find more good players. I know you've got a lot of good players over there already. We're certainly hoping that we get more of them. Again, that time zone coverage, but also our Russian comrades have been some of the fiercest fighters we've had. So we want them in the alliance, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I was. I'll tell you a little bit story. Recently I was surfing the recruitment channel in, I mean, if Echo's Discord, and I found some Russian corporation. But when I talked with them, some of them told me that they are already in alliance that
Mm,
actually didn't establish in a game, like, or some of them are planning to join the alliance.
okay.
And uh, the main problem is a situation that Russians are kind of xenophobic. It's not because they don't like Americans or another foreign people, because just because of their language. So yeah,
The language is a big one, and I think based on my experience of living in different countries, I lived in Turkmenistan for a year, and they speak Turkmen and they speak Russian. And the ethno-Russian population was very segregated away from everybody else because of their language. And I think a lot of it is the translation doesn't work as well. So if you don't speak another language, the translation is more difficult. You see it with just the letters are different. It feels more foreign. So when you look at our alphabet, it just feels more foreign, right? Versus if I see German writing, that's still my alphabet. French, it's still my alphabet. I think a lot of the Chinese players feel the same way. Our Korean players probably feel that way. So it's a challenge, and we're trying to do what we can to help you guys on the Discord. I know you've been working a lot with Mamasaurus. You put out some good suggestions that we've got these new Discord translator bots up. So we've got a lot of translation going on the server. Is that helping your guys?
Um, I think yeah. Like now I got these messages from Flash Pink channel. Yeah. And the main problem is that translation is very inaccurate. Like
Hmm.
yeah, sometimes it's not perfect. It's better to say. Just because it's making words like
Right. Yeah. The syntax is lost and context gets lost as well.
so. And I was trying to teach some of my players how the slang. And yeah, that's I wrote about you about that. We need like the list of slangs that everyone just understood.
Hmm.
Like not matters what, no matter of what your language is, you need to understand it. And I even got a thought to translate your PvP tutorial,
Hmm.
but I faced a problem that firstly it's pronunciation. Yeah, like for example, can you pronounce the name of our home system? BZ, full name.
I'd have to look. It's
It's
BZ something something.
zero GB. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so
like you.
the typical way we will say a system name for English speakers, a lot of people will either just say it alphabetically or they'll use phonetics. I tend to use phonetics, so like if I'm spelling out the first part of your name, Zloy, I would say Zulu, Lima, Oscar, Yankee. Um, that makes it super easy for English speakers or people who understand the English alphabet for I'm assuming the Russians, our Chinese, our Korean speakers, that probably makes it harder to understand, doesn't it?
Not not always because like I understand that you take this from NATO, yeah, like NATO classification. I don't know how to call it. Like they have the list for every letter. They have a word. For
Mhm.
example, C, Charlie. Yeah,
Yes.
and I think because most of players are playing shooters, and this system is presented there, so they know how to work. And like if they heard, for example, Zulu, they understand that it's Z.
Right.
So yeah, yeah. But like yours in name systems, like okay, it was Ira saying like BZ tag 0GB or something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So then
and
you run into the issue of certain dialects. So Ira is he's English, he's a Brit, and they tend to have different types of slang. So instead of Zulu, they might say Zed, and Zed is a name, right? It's someone's name, so that might throw people off as well, and similar things like that.
but yeah, when he is saying like BZ tag 0GB or something like this, he it just ma- become a mess
Right.
because of this tag. I don't know, like I thought it's a dash, for example, for me.
Hmm.
So and when I was trying to speak with comms and saying the system, I was saying like BZ dash 0GB.
Hmm.
Yeah, and uh, when I first heard it, like what? What system?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
Dirty Joe is saying in the stream chat it's a military thing. Yeah, it's definitely a military thing. That's where I learned it as a tack. I try to say dash, but especially if I'm moving fast, I will say tack, and it's just a habit because it's a tack mark, right? That's and people who don't know what that means have no idea what we're saying. Whereas a dash, people can translate dash as a word, right? They're like, oh, I know what dash means.
yeah. So yeah, yeah. But yeah, I think I have two variants how to manage PvP. First is just to train everyone to learn the slang. So just they heard the slang, they don't hear the context, like slang. Warp to gate.
Yeah,
They are the yeah.
right.
It's the perfect situation. In another situation, I just will join comms on Genesis, comms on BNS server.
And translate and
Yes,
play
yes,
the
and
relay game. Yeah.
and warp there, alliance there, yeah. um,
I like the your background removal tool just made your water see through. That was pretty cool. So it looked like you were holding space in your hand. I like it.
and drink pure liquid oxygen.
Yeah, get with me. Get with me tomorrow. Let's make out a definition list, and that way you can translate specific slang words into a list, and that way you can teach the phonetic pronunciation, the way it sounds in English to your players. And I think we'll push a list like that to SGP and KPX. That way they can teach it in Chinese, Korean, whatever the respective language. I think that might be a helpful way but
Oh,
ultimately, I think the relay system is one of the easiest ways to do it. I know we did that in EVE Online when we would have a large coalition. The senior FC would speak, and then they would have a liaison, a translator, listening on one com and translating it onto their native language. It's a little more complex, but it becomes pretty efficient. The more we work at it, the better we get, right?
oh yeah. Oh, we'll see. We'll see if I first I need to establish my PvP win
Hmm.
because there's not so many people interested in it. But
Hmm.
like, hope you will be surprised because this man he's very very courageous. He wants to become a logist who is flying on cyber training.
Gotcha. Well,
He told me that.
so I mean, well, I think we'll just keep poking at Red. We'll just keep trying to entice them to come over because if you guys are building ships and they specifically want to shoot at stuff, we'll have a good combination. You could have your Russians who are building stuff and the Russians who want to shoot stuff. You'd be a great team together. Look at that.
Oh yes, but the main problem right now is that everyone wants money. So
Yeah.
not many people are interested in PvP, and I'm quite sad of it. Yeah,
You
I
know,
was trying.
a lot of it is the skill books. They're expensive. So even if you have your ship set up, anything you want to train beyond the basic skills costs millions of ISK. So yeah, everybody's focused on making ISK because they got to be able to get skill books, let alone ships.
Oh yes. Even me, I was like spending 3 days right now to earn like 10 million. I know it's like not so big amount, but I saw that I saw Treasure 2 and Treasure Navi issue, and I want to buy some. And like in total,
Hmm.
they cost 10 million. And like recently, I level up my small gun operation skills like to very high level, and I think I will be an annihilated machine.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're definitely going to be watching, just like all of our corps. We're hoping that you guys continue to grow. All of Genesis seems to be growing steadily. We're definitely happy to have you. We're happy that you were able to make this interview happen. Do you have anything else you'd like to say to the stream before we take off?
I have a question to you actually.
What's the question?
About your name,
Uh huh.
like Kerensky, or sometimes the Lord Kerensky. So like, one time, I was at Genesis Comms. I was with Mama, Hassani, and someone else.
Hmm.
And like I was telling them the brief history of USSR and USSR space program. And then Hassani told that he watched a history, a video about history of uh, Russian Empire,
Hmm.
and there was mentioned one man, and his name was Lord Kerensky. Like, and then we saw. Maybe Kerensky was inspired by him to take his name.
It was not actually. So my name actually, I've had this gaming name for a very long time, since before EVE Online, and it's a combination. So Kerensky comes from BattleTech, the Mech Warrior series. So House Kerensky was the name of, and they were Russians, but so that was one name there. And then Kanos is actually a name from the Star Wars Expanded Universe. He was a member of the Crimson Guard for Emperor Palpatine. So instead of doing the traditional steal one name and make it your gamer tag, I actually stole two names, put them together, made one gamer tag, and I've had it for probably 20 years now.
Wow. And where was mentioned the Canis, the royal guard of Emperor? Because I am a Star Wars fan and like I am stalking up information from
Let
all
me
sources about Star
let me
Wars.
look for
Yeah,
you.
thanks a lot.
So
Because
the character name is Kir Kanos. Let me look up the series real quick. Uh, the original spelling is Kir space Kanos. So I have an I in my name. His does not. So the story is. Let me look for the book. These wikis are always like 10 pages long because these nerds do more writing than I do. Okay, so it's the Crimson Empire series. And
wow.
then, let's see. Yeah, that must have been where I found them from, the Crimson Empire series, maybe. I know the first time I ever heard it, it was a audiobook actually, and I just the character was really interesting. He was a Crimson Guard for Palpatine, and he saw some things he didn't like there he realized that the emperor was doing far more harmful whatever, so he actually defected. He left the guard. There was like a group inside the guard who wanted more power, and it all became corrupt, and he like fought against it, and then he left. I don't remember the full story because it was like 25 years ago now, but I remember it being a really good story. So I'd say Google it, Kir Kanos, or I'll put it in the chat. Again, that's
Mhm.
Kirknnos. And then, like I said, Kerensky is just House Kerensky from the BattleTech series. I was a huge BattleTech fan a long time ago, back when the games were still good. So
Yeah. Actually, expanded universe is great.
yeah,
I read recently. I reread uh, the Throne trilogy. I was, it's awesome. I love it. I
well, if
love
you're
all
if
of it.
you're if you're a Star Wars fan, I have Emperor Palpatine right there, and the Imperial fleet, including the Eclipse. So there you go for your daily dose, and the Death Star's on the back. I'll have to get you another story or another picture sometime. But yeah, there you go for some nerd stuff on the internet today.
Oh yeah, and like fun fact, I was watching the history of Camino before this show. So,
History of Camino. Okay. All right. Well, Z, thank you for coming on the show, and thanks everybody for watching. And we will see you all next time on the Kanos Kerensky show. So take it easy, everybody.
bye, comrades.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and tell your friends to subscribe too. Be sure to check out the rest of the Genesis Wire content at www.genesistackfed.com/GenesisTackWire. Thanks for listening. The Kanos Kerensky Show is produced by Kanos Kerensky, executive producer Tim the Lemur, supervising producer Moses the Lemur, assistant director Pavel the Lemur, technical producer Jolly the Lemur, playback and media operated by a neckbeard, edited by nobody, costume by a secondhand store, hair and makeup by a lemur with glaucoma. All EVE Online source materials are copyright CCP 2020.
All EVA Echo's source materials are copyright CCP and NetEase 2020. The Kanos Kerensky Show is a Genesis Wire production. Copyright Genesis Wire 2020.